Hey, so I posted recently about some live work I was doing, which is in support of some recording work I did earlier in the year. So back in January and beginning of February, I recorded a few tracks for a new album for an artist that I've played for before, and they very kindly asked me to go and do it live, which meant going back and learning how to play those songs that I'd recorded a few months back. I don't keep everything in memory, but I keep kind of notes of charts of what I've recorded, so I kind of have the chord structures and things available, but individual solos I tend to go back and learn. So I'm going to play the solo now, just from one of these tracks, and then I thought I'd talk a little bit about how the solo came about and what was involved in going back and transcribing it effectively. So here goes. Okay, so that was the solo. The artist is a group called Versonic, who are based up in kind of Surrey, London area, written by Stephen Connor. The song is called Life is the Game We Play, and the album is going to be called Brand New Man. The album comes out, I'd guess, in a month or two. The live work starts in a few weeks' time. So what was interesting about that solo for me was about a week before I recorded that solo, I transcribed another solo from a modern country tune that I was learning for another band. And the solo in that, played by Tom Bukovac, had this really cool pedal tone lick. So it was in B minor and it pedaled off of this E. So it's just those few notes in the middle. And that sort of simple little idea stuck in my head for a few days. And I started practicing pedal tone licks and seeing where I could incorporate them. And then kind of unwittingly it came out in this solo twice, and considering how quickly this solo came together, which I'll talk about in a moment, it was kind of surprising that it happened that quickly. The third or fourth lick in this solo pedals off a G and then pedals off a C. So you see it pedals off the G here, and then crosses over to the C. And then a cheeky little sort of Rosanna tribute at the end. And then later in the solo, I pedal tone off of an E flat. So the chorus is, sorry, the solo is over basically C minor, A flat and B flat. So the entire solo is C natural minor throughout. And I just kind of found it interesting that something I'd been practicing about a week before came together really quickly in a solo. Now, normally by the time I practice a solo, by the time I record the final take of a solo, I'll have gone through a number of takes and kind of built up a kind of mini composition, right? So I'm not improvising it by the time I get the final take very often. This one, I look back in Cubase, there was only 5 takes of it, and I must have switched guitar halfway through or kind of given up. So I had the 3-3-5 to start with, which is what the track title said. I know I played it on this guitar in the end because I could hear the whammy bar on a few of the licks. So this is just a sort of standard super strat, humbucker in the bridge, everything up to 11 here. The model on the Kemper is a 2-rock jet, and there's a shortish delay, not too much there, and a bit of reverb as well. But anyway, I thought that might be interesting to see how a solo came together relatively quickly in the studio. I say sometimes they take a lot longer. Sometimes you get lucky and you improvise something first take that works great. This one I think I built up over 3 or 4 takes, and then I think on the 5th take was the one I kept. As I say, the artist is Versonic, the track Life is a Game We Play, the album Brand New Man. I'll post some links when the album gets released. I'm sure a lot of it will be available kind of online to listen to. There's some really great tunes on the album. I really like the songwriting on it. And Stephen's very kind. He lets me put a lot of guitar parts on it and tends to keep most of them as well, which is great. So really fun to play live. As I say, we rehearsed for the first time this week. These new tracks, they started to sound really good, so I'm looking forward to doing those as well. Hopefully that was a useful little look as to how something comes together in the studio. Leave any comments you have, and if it was useful, I might do another one. And thanks to Stephen for permission to use the clip earlier in the video as well. Much appreciated. Cheers.